Stop recruiting me, will you? Has that happened to you? It's happened to me. Take it as a compliment, you rascal. That's exactly what it is. Why would someone recruit you if you were garbage? And if you're good, shouldn't you be looking at your opportunities out there? Yeah, you should. Anyway, I'm Kathy Burns, and I'm a realtor here in the Lake Norman area. And I've got lots of things to share with you over the last 18 years that I've been in the business. And this market is changing. It's not just the market. It's the whole industry is changing. So you can't just stay stuck in the old ways. You got to figure out some new ways. And that's what I'm going to be talking about here in this video. So if you like what you're hearing, please be sure and subscribe below and stay tuned for more. And ask me some questions. Tell me some things that are a challenge for you. What's happening that you don't like about being recruited? There's a lot of texts going out there. I get that. Texts and emails and phone calls, and it's disrupting your busy day. But let me ask you this. It's right now, it's the end of December 23. People are analyzing their business. This is when you're supposed to be figuring out your goals for the following year. This is when you're analyzing, did you do what you'd hoped you'd do? What's your end game? All of that. How are you going to grow your business? Because if you're being recruited, then somebody sees something in you. And if they see something in you, it's because they want you to join and be a part of what they've got going on. Now, what you have to decide is it worth your time? There'll be some companies where you're going to say, nah, I don't want to be bothered with them because they don't make sense to me. We've got a lot of changes in the industry happening nowadays. There's the old-fashioned model of bricks and mortar where people supposedly go in the office and hang out there. It's really dying. If you don't believe me, go watch the YouTube video by Mike DePrete called Pandemonium, where he really breaks down the industry as a whole. And he talks about brick and mortar, and he talks about the meta firms. And that's like EXP as an example. That's who I'm with. Love it. Been with a lot of other companies and been recruited a lot too because I was successful. I was building my business. People want to run with people who will build their business. So when you're being recruited, I want you to really take a look at all the different models that are out there. Watch that video by Mike DePrete. It's incredible. And it will really lay out the foundation of what a business is. And that's what you want to pay attention to. This is your business, right? So you don't want to be a statistic like the 80% that drop out in the first 2 years. You want to have a plan, and you want to align yourself with a business partner that's going to make sense. Because most of us choose a partner. In the beginning, as a new agent, you're looking for mentorship, training, teach me how to do this, and that makes sense, right? As you go along, ideally, your vision will be to start either having a partner or a team, because it's a lot. It's a lot to do by yourself, and you can get burned out really easily. So if you want to build something that's really successful and really valuable for other recruiters to even come off after you and come to you offering better opportunities, the smartest thing that you can do as a business owner and business builder is keep an open mind. Industries change, things change, life changes. You can't have a closed door and just say, I'm stuck here. You've got to always be open, and that's how you'll grow. If you close that mind and say, well, I love my broker, they've been so good to me, that's wonderful. That's all great. However, this is your business, your family, your needs that have to come first. Now, if you have a broker that you love and you've been supporting, well, they've been earning it, right? Because people get an override. They get a piece of it, unless it's your own. If it's your own, you should also be looking at it. How can you improve your business, right? So you tell me. Give me some questions below. What do you think about things that you need to be looking at in your business that maybe you're not paying attention to? Why are you keeping such a closed door to even looking at something that might be better? I would get recruited all the time, and I was that person. Nah, I'm fine. Because I don't like the change of it. I would change when it was right for me in my mind. I was plugging along, doing just great. And the truth of it is, you can be doing great and you could be doing much better. And every one of those changes that I made, because I started out at Coldwell Banker, I was there for, I think just under 2 years. I'm really not even sure. And I got no support there. Was it a stepping stone for me, an important one? Yes, it was. I'm not knocking the company. They're that old-fashioned model. And back then we had phone duty. And phone duty was great for me. Phone duty was where every single agent had the opportunity of phone duty because they were the phone number for the signs for every single agent in the office was the phone number of the office. Because back in 2006, 7, 8, 9, and I think a lot of companies still do this today, they put the main phone number on of that franchise so that all the calls have to come through there. And then it gets dispersed either one way or another. Back then, it was through phone duty, and you would sit on phone duty, just pick up those calls, hoping someone would call in that day. Ideally, the best phone duty seemed to be on Saturday and Sunday. And that was how I started to pick up business, and also through networking and just hustling, doing everything that I could. But the training that I got from Coldwell Banker was lean, and also that was also the sign of the times. So I wanted to go level up, and I went to RE/MAX. And they didn't recruit me per se, but they wanted me, which was great. So I went there and I did learn more, and I did partner up with another woman, and I did start to build a team, and we did have a buyer's agent, and we did have an assistant, and all those things were critical to have a life. Because if you wanted to go on vacation, who was going to do your business? The other agents in the office weren't going to help you because everybody treated it like competition. Not cool, right? But that's how it was. And in many offices, that's how it still is. Is it like that way in your office, or do you have open collaboration? Because it is kind of changing. So, and that's my point. Change is good. Change is good. Anyway, as I evolved over there, I was being recruited by another firm. And I was very close to it, very close. Because I didn't want to deal with the hassle of the move, right? It's expensive to move. And also, RE/MAX was not gentle with me. We had a lot of listings at the time, and they nailed us when we left. We had to pay a heavy-duty fee to leave, and they didn't pay us up front. They just wanted a piece of all those listings. I think we had around 11 million in listings at the time, and they insisted on 25% of that and made it kind of ugly, which is also interesting, business owners. What if I didn't like that new company? You want to burn a bridge with somebody who's done really well at your company? Don't burn bridges. Empower people to let them go. Let them grow and get better in their own business. Keep relationships good. That's another little tip I'm going to tell you. I don't like to build enemies in this real estate world that I'm in. I want to have colleagues. Colleagues, I don't care what company you're with. Let's figure out how to do deals together. Don't we all have the same agenda? Sorry, I'm digressing here, but that makes me crazy. I don't want to burn any bridges with anybody. Do some people really tick me off? Yes. Do I do my best to not do business with them again? Yes, I do and I don't. If they still bring a deal to me, I want to have more of a heart-to-heart with them. Let's not do that stuff again. I almost swore. Anyway, let's not do that again, because it's stressful enough going through the process, right? So then after I left, finally, that recruiter, who was someone I used to work with, who saw the value in myself and my partner in our little team. And he convinced us eventually to come over and at least take a look. And when we did, we liked it. When I crunched the numbers, I saw my business partner and I would have made $25,000 more each a year. And we got the opportunity for residual income. That was very unusual at that stage. So I was happy to leave a RE/MAX at that point. I was ticked and still unticked at how RE/MAX poisoned our relationship at the end, because I was there 7 years and it just wasn't smart business. Don't ever burn those bridges. And so we were at that small new franchise in the area. However, it was not an easy road. I didn't get along with one of the owners because he was a corporate guy. He did not have an entrepreneur mindset. He was a partner in the franchise and very controlling. I don't like to be controlled, and I'm an entrepreneur. Don't tell me what to do. So we would butt heads periodically. I did like the structure of how we were being paid. I love that. I tried to bring collaboration into that office by getting other agents to share their gold in once-a-week meetings where we would do that. And he kind of allowed that, but he didn't love it. Now, his other partner was a seasoned real estate agent, very good, but his hands were kind of tied with his partner. So then we brought in my daughter, who was a mortgage person, because she was doing mastermind from the book, The 7 Levels of Communications by Michael Mayer. Really good. And we were doing masterminds in there. Well, he kind of sabotaged it by setting up mandatory meetings in the office at the same time we were doing those to help the agents. Now, obviously, she had an agenda there where she'd like to build a relationship with those agents, and he really resisted that. He didn't like that at all. But those were just nitpicky stuff. I could get around that, and I was like, it's not a happy environment here. My biggest challenge was they didn't have someone other than the partner who was a BIC in charge there, and they would just leave. And they would do some things that I found challenging and non-integrative of how you're supposed to run the business. So I called him on it. And I was shortly after fired. And I had a lot of listings there as well. In the meantime, my business partner had gone another direction, which was fine. But when I was fired, I was only given 48 hours to find a new spot to put my license. Well, if you've been around a while, you kind of know the different firms that are out there. Nothing really new was on the horizon. We were with the most advanced style of comp plan out there. And so now I was going to have to go backwards. And I called some friends of mine who I'm currently licensed with. That's the LePage Johnson Group, Craig LePage and Shelley Johnson. And I called them and I just asked for some advice. And they said, just come over to KW and hang with us for a while and let things settle. And so I did. Things were pretty challenging at that time because I had my mom who had dementia, and I was taking care of her as well. However, I sat there for a while. I didn't like the splits because I went backwards with my splits. And so now I'm netting less, although I didn't have my partner anymore. So that part went up, so that was good. In every one of those stages, every one of those companies, even the partnership dissolving, they were all gifts because it led me to the next step. I was offered an opportunity to be a coach there. And I looked at their coaching plan, and I just didn't like it. I felt it was dated. I didn't like their technology there. You may say, well, you're kind of older. Do you do tech? Yeah, I do tech. I actually love tech. And they didn't really have anything very good there. So I ended up turning that down. And I was going to be offered a fair amount of money on new agents, a commission for helping out those agents, understandably, right? And I could have used the money, but it wasn't me. So I said no. That day, I ran into Craig LePage and Shelley Johnson at lunch, and they asked me to join their team. And we talked. I liked it. I said yes. And so we were all at KW. And then 2 weeks later, they tell me they're going to EXP. I go, what? I don't even know what that is. Never heard of it. But they were a very well-respected large team in the area. And I said, yeah. So I went over. And that was just being open to that was good. And even being open to go to KW to just breathe, that was good. That's about being open and not closing those walls. And I was actually, maybe age was getting with me where I was starting to be more receptive and more open, because all of those transitions were work. I get that. They were work. However, sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's worth it. Don't keep that window closed. I ended up going over to EXP with them, and it was life-changing for me because all of the things that I was looking for, and all those other companies was here. Now, I wouldn't have known that. Very high tech. Personally love it. Now, you may be saying, I'm not a tech person. You need to be. Sorry. That's the reality of where our world is. It's tech, and it's gone at such a rapid pace. You can do your business your way, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to struggle. That's the truth of it. I don't care what company you're with, but you need to pay attention to that. So, back to my story. If you want to know more about how you can level up, be open, evaluate these different businesses, Michael DePrete's video, The Pandemonium, that's on YouTube. Check it out because it's good. And then also stay with me. Subscribe, share this with other people, see if they're relating to not being open to being recruited. Evaluate. This is the time of year to do it because the next year's coming around. You want to hit that strong. You want to have that foundation set. Build your foundation on a solid firm you're aligned with as well. Even if it's your own, what are you going to do different? So I hope that helps you. Please leave me some comments below. I'd love to have a conversation. All of your opinions, let's talk about it, okay? And stay tuned for more. Thanks.